Hi, beautiful being under the stratosphere. This is your lesson 2.4, the words you write. And I am going to stress the importance of you to write it either manually with pen or with pencil. I like to write it with pencil because mine get a little bit messy and I want to change up, I want to switch it, I want to know exactly, I want to see it afterwards, I want to read it. And the few times I did it with a pen, I had too much scratched out. Like, no, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't that word. No, it wasn't that. I had to massage through the process of the right words of writing this person a letter, which is basically their letter of release. So the reason why it's important to do it with your hand is because the process in the hand takes that one smidge enough longer where it goes through your head into your emotions and then can come out into the arm and you can feel it moving out. There's like a motion in the words versus typing a letter, which is faster, and you'd think, well, I won't miss anything that way. Goes straight from your mind to your hand. And it kind of bypasses the emotion. You're just like, this is not meant to be academic, right? We're not trying to prove how quickly we can write a paper and get the content. Like, I just want to get these letters done. We're trying to extract valuable information as we do the process, because this in itself is what will heal us by releasing the lower frequency and vibration and release us up into the higher vibration. So the best way to release anything in all its parts is to identify all its parts. So it's a 3-part letter. There are more complex. You can add in anything you need to add in, but I'm going to keep it simple with 3 parts. The first part, dear so-and-so, thank you for anything that they have, thank them for anything that they have added or given to you or helped you in any way. Even if it was just learning these hard lessons from this person, thank them for whatever good that has come from them that you consider is good. Even if it was one thing at the beginning, anything. If there's nothing, I get it. There's nothing. Thank you for nothing, right? Second part. Try to summarize from your debriefing, which has taken place before this, where you did the audio, where you verbally got out. Now you got all the top stuff done. I mean the top stuff in sense of all the name calling and judgments and just, you know, the beating of the wings that the geese do, just to release energy, right? So we release this energy, and now, okay, these are the things that they did or they said or the actions they took that made me feel how. Now remember, here will just be a little lesson on accountability. They did not make you feel this way as a person. They did actions that allowed you to choose to feel a certain way. And I'm sure in the moment, as it was for me, I didn't realize I was choosing these reactions. I thought, if I love this person and they do this to me, then they are hurting me. They are hurting me. But I was actually the only one who was allowing myself to be hurt. So in this kind of explanation, see if you can tell them what you feel without blaming them for what you decided to feel. Is it possible to word it this way? So this is a nonviolent communication strategy, where if we realize that we are the masters of our own domain, of emotions and thoughts and actions, that we have chosen everything. One, it will bring us a lot of power, but also it brings us a lot of realization of how much we led ourselves to believe that they did it, that they were the sole participants. You know, when they always say, you know, it takes two to tango, I was always like, yeah, but one is always the leader and one is always the follower. You know, I was not so much a believer in the it takes two to tango, because I felt like they were trying to relieve the person who had inflicted the pain by saying, well, if you hadn't have been there, it wouldn't have happened. But now I see it a little differently, not as had I not been there, like I chose to be there, but it's like, oh, I made the internal choice to stick around long enough to continue to let this person, this situation, whatever, to affect me to such a degree that it even maybe caused me trauma. Now here we're not talking about things in childhood. That's one pillar and point apart, right? We're talking about, these are relationships where we have managed ourselves as adults. Now it can be that if you're a young adult, you're feeling that you didn't have control and you didn't have a choice in some things. And I'm with you. I'm with you. It's true. They should have known better, right? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But now as an adult, you have the choice. Just like you made the choice to be here and make a difference in your own life, that you're going to move forward in your frequency and not hold yourself back because of whatever frequency was set in motion in the past. Now we have this choice, and we can see, looking back, expressing to this person, this is what I felt, because there was no other way for me to know that I could choose differently, right? Especially if you were very young. So that's to cover that base of things that happen before our time as adults, where we are tracing. There comes some point where you'll realize, oh yeah, I brought that on myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. And I'm like, I knew, but I did it anyway, right? So these are those moments in the future where we're saying, we have chosen literally to go in that direction, but we're so involved in the emotion of pain, it would seem that it had just happened to us. So trying to sum up and express in that part of the letter how you felt. I felt this. I felt that. Don't worry about what he felt and what he did about what your feelings were and that if he could see them or not. No. You could say, I felt unseen by you, etc., etc. And at the end, close your letter with, I now release you from my life so that you continue your purpose journey as I will continue my own purpose journey. And then sign your name. You will hold on to this letter for a few days and notice if you need to go back, if there's things that you feel you need to add. You want to make sure that it's as complete as possible, that you feel this would be a goodbye letter to this person. I'm satisfied. I've covered all the bases here. I have said everything I need to say to this person. I say hold on to it because how many times do you go back and proofread or read something, like even the morning, like that morning I wrote it, I look at it in the evening, I'm like, no, this or that, or like something needs some kind of modification. So check on it before we go into final stage of the ritual. You will do a letter for the first top 3 people. So if you're feeling it and you've got the energy, I had to go through 12 of these. It's not necessary for you to do the whole kind of process, but I was working on the chain of past toxic relationships, and there was actually a list that was much longer than that, but we picked the top ones, right? And then after I had done the first 6, she's like, do you feel there's more? Everything is on perception. Now you have to perceive and see and feel and be like, those other names, I could still feel them inside. And I said, I think I'm going to continue. So that was kind of like a month's project to work on these letters, which turned out to be pretty lengthy in my case, because many of these people, it wasn't a very short-term relationship. No, these people are people that I still interact with maybe today. But in some way, I needed to be able to release the link, the bridge, whatever it is between me and them that was holding me back. There's no purpose, there's no benefit, not even for them, no? The moment you let them go, they are also free to continue in their purpose journey and to find a better path for themselves. So it's a toxic linked energy that doesn't benefit either of us. Someone has to be the one to process it or release. Half of these people might not even know or notice what has shifted or what has changed. That's not the purpose. The purpose is for you to go forward, right? So that's it with the letters. There will be the PDF for you to look at in the link below, in the extra, what's it called? In the additional material, additional course material. Complimentary, that was it. I was like, what's the word? I'm like, I can't think of a word. Complimentary course material. And I'll see you in the next video where we are going to seal the deal. Literally. All right. See you there. Bye-bye.